listen, we had NFL.com put out their top 65 starting quarterbacks from 2025. We don't need to talk about 65 quarterbacks, but we do need to talk about their top 10 ranking. Let me give you from 10 to 1, and then let's just talk about our reactions to this, because there's some guys that are left off the list. At number 10, Joe Burrow. At number 9, Jared Goff. At number 8, Caleb Williams. Why is he so low? At number 7, Sam Darnold, who just won a Super Bowl. All right, we're going to go up. At number 6 is Trevor Lawrence. Number 5 is Justin Herbert. Number 4 is Drake May. Number 3, they have Dak Prescott. Maybe I missed the Cowboys playoff game. I didn't think I saw that. Josh Allen comes in at a solid number 2. Matthew Stafford at MVP tops out at number 1. All right, fellas. This list is a little crazy to me. There's some notables missing.
Give us on this? How long did you give us? Because man, okay.
No, we're not gonna discuss this forever, but I will give you some names off the list just to get your thoughts going. Lamar Jackson not on the list. Patrick Mahomes not on the list. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy not on the list. Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers not in the top 10. Jalen Hurts, your 2-time Super Bowl quarterback, 1-time MVP, I say most overrated player in the league, not on the list. He's down at 19. So there's a list of quarterbacks that didn't make the top 10 and some guys that made it really high up there, in my opinion. Brandon, I see your face as I give you the top 10, man. What is your reaction to this list?
Wow. But
that's it.
I do understand what they're trying to do. This is going over this season, right? This specific season. This isn't just your entire body of work. We understand that 1 through 5. You know, they did a great job, right? Herbert at 5 is a little etchy. I think Joe Burrow at 10 for this specific season. Okay. I mean, guys only played 50% of his career. Seeing Lamar down at 11, obviously that ticks us off. Mahomes down at 13. Those were some down years, but man, let's be real. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Jackson, Stafford, those guys separate themselves. And the rest are just there, right? Sprinkled in. I like to see Caleb up at 8, just some, playoff game heroics, but you start to drop down to these different tiers, man. I'm not really going to put too much stock into these. I just think this is really just going statistically by this season, and that's it.
I mean, I guess I get that. I don't know exactly what their criteria is. When I look at Sam Darnold and Drake May, for example, the 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, Drake May at 4, Sam Darnold all the way down at 7, when he had an incredible season, statistically was incredible. Caleb Williams at 8. I'd like to see that be a little bit higher. I'm trying to figure out what's the criteria. We've got Dak here at 3, and I know that Dak threw for a lot of yards. All his yards came
everything from this season. This is based on everything
from this season specifically.
Yes, everything.
Yes.
This is
where we are. Take into account though who you're playing. Like Dak Prescott at 3, most of his yards came against.
But he had the number 1 offense.
It didn't matter.
So most of the guys early that you mentioned, and I looked at this list that are anywhere between, let's say, what they call them, tier 1. It was like top 5 or top 6. They're like the best of the best. What that means is, and this doesn't mean playoff performances. This doesn't mean, this is QB statistically. Did you carry your team, and was there elite output? You know what I mean? Like, are you considered an elite football player because of last season? And I looked at this and was pissed too, because I'm big on Mr. If Man that's there. Okay. I know if man and if that, but let's be real. You got to be some type of player to be able to say, well, if I had an offensive line, I could do this. Right. And they're giving him all types of stuff this year, but he drugged the Chargers pretty much to the playoffs, and when emotions are all removed and everything's settling, Drake May was nearly the MVP. Some people would argue he's right where he is. I wasn't upset at it. I'm not going to, a lot of people would say move him back, but dude, the playoff is different. Right. And that's why Dak's at 3. Dak will drag you there. He'll get you there. Okay. But if we're talking season stats, also looking at it's tough.
1,
I think we look at efficiency
2,
as well.
3, 4. I've got 4 of the top 6 in double-digit interceptions. I don't know that I can live with that. Double-digit interceptions. And in Josh Allen's case, and I love Josh Allen, They've got him at 2. I mean, not only did he have double-digit interceptions, he had double-digit fumbles. So did he have the second best season as a quarterback this year? I love Josh Allen, and he did not have the second best season.
That's why I said it's everything, not just stats. It's everything from this season. And I'm sorry, that man is the engine.
Season, guys.
He is the engine of Buffalo. So if you look up at other stats of Josh Allen with
what just happened to our stream?
Josh Allen is crazy. Josh Allen's crazy. He touches the ball. I don't know how many percent times leads to efficiency.
I mean, I get it.
It's not.
I get it, but you know what? Sam Darnold.
Why?
Sam Darnold took his team to a Super Bowl. He doesn't need to be all the way down out of the top 10.
But here's what I will say, fellas. This is the highest we've ever seen as far as passer rating in the NFL this year. The average is 92 and 92.4.
And how many people were over that? How many people were over that?
Explosive passes is up 10%. So these are, it's starting to get more explosive, right? The rules are changing a little bit. They want more touchdowns. And I think, with this.
With more touchdowns comes more picks.
I understand that, but I just think.
Unless you're the Jets.
I mean, it's the volume. You got to look at Patrick Mahomes. He was down and out, kind of played a little bit.
He got hurt.
Right? Lamar Jackson, he was in and out. Joe Burrow was in and out. Brock Purdy was in and out. These guys are at the top. They lasted all year. Trevor Lawrence had a sneaky good year, right? Daniel Jones got hurt. He falls in tier 2, right? He had a pretty damn good year. So imagine if these guys stayed healthy, where would this be? Obviously, it would change. But from an entire season, they've been the most consistent day in and day out.
I think that's why you got guys
saying.
For Baker Mayfield,
like, hey, you're the elite guy. Hell no.
Everything. See, everything matters. Sometimes
it's not their body of work, bro. Can't be.
Baker was like in college. He was the number. Everything's included in there, including the injuries.
But we all agree that
best ability is availability with some of these great quarterbacks right now.
But Baker was available, and Baker carried that Buccaneers team best he could. With everybody
Baker started out hot.
Not getting out efforts.
Baker started out hot first quarter of the season. We were talking about him at MVP, and then he drastically disappeared, right? I mean, he disappeared. Let's call it what it is.
So did all of his receivers and half of his offensive line.
Okay. There's no curve. There's no curve.
Don't put too much into these rankings, man.
We all know and have agreed on this very show that when you're the quarterback, what's around you matters. And he was playing great when he had his team out there. And then all of a sudden you look out and you don't even know who his receivers are.
No, see.
But I think great players elevate people when nobody's available.
To Louis' point,
Brock Purdy did that. You can't even name the receiver Brock Purdy has.
You're only highlighting the guys or Baker when he did well with guys there. But you also got to understand that for a while he did well with nobody there. He still was playing well with nobody receivers. And all of a sudden it's a problem when they start losing. He won games with that ragtag crew.
He did.
If you will.
He did. Well, you're not going to win them all. I don't know. I'd like to know who is responsible for the list and have a conversation.
Numbers. It has everything in there.
This is accurate
to me, there's some emotion in here too. And I don't think playoffs are like weighting as heavier. But there's some motion here. I mean, Bryce Young, let's be real. We want to put him higher, but 21 seems about right. You're going to take 20 other QBs before this guy. You know what I mean?
This could be. This article was written by Nick Shook. Maybe it is just his opinion alone. Maybe it just came from him. It wasn't a committee. At first, I thought maybe it was the same people that do the Hall of Fame voting, because we've learned they're not very bright. But maybe it's just this Nick Shook character who did this, and I don't know.
The fact that Mac Jones is at 25, which is the starter on 7 other teams. You're giving him some credit, man. He stepped in for Purdy and won games.
Mac did his thing.
They got him at 25. You know what I mean? Kyler Murray sitting at 30 and didn't play any games. Like they a very short season, should I say? He played games. But
all right.
You know how it goes.
There we are. We'll get our own rankings. I'm going to challenge the both of you to create your own ranking of your own top 10 quarterback of last year for next week. Let's do that.
Top 10 of last year?
For next week. Don't worry about that now.
You're giving us homework.
I'm giving you homework for next year.
Top 10 right now in the NFL.
Ooh, see, that's a different conversation, because now you're talking about body of work compared to
That's what I
last year.
want.
So you got to take. All right, let's do body of
Everybody
work.
has down seasons.
I got
we
you.
need to have a clear narrative here. I think is it going to be something like our statistic? Are we taking everything in there? Is there some bias in here, or is it how about the question is this? Who would you take as your starting quarterback? 10 in a row, top 10.
10 in a row. I like that. If you're starting a franchise today, who's the first
if you were
quarterback
starting
you
a
take and who's
franchise,
the 10th? I like it.
Yeah, you
I
can build whatever you want
love
around
that
him, however you want. So
love
that way, if
conversation.
you know, how about that?
Well, that's what we're doing next Tuesday, folks. Get ready for it. We're going to tell you. We're going to teach some GMs in the NFL.
Nuhi, stop cheating. You're thinking about it already. Stop cheating, Nuhi.
No cheating.
No, I'm just thinking like, okay, how are we factoring this in? Are we factoring in right now?
Healthy. No, everyone's healthy and they're about to start.
What we have seen in the NFL.
Yep.
Are we factoring in injuries?
Yeah.
Are we factoring in all these things?
Yeah, I mean, past injuries, but right now they're all
knowing what we know, what we know now about them. That's what we're doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I like that.
Now, next season, you got an expansion team. They're coming to San Antonio.
I already know where Brandon's going.
Starting
you know why he was asking those questions, right? To decide how high or how low Joe Burrow was going to go in that list. I know my guy. I know.
Hey, he'd be lucky if Joe sneaks into 10.
He's never.
It's risky, but there's a big reward. It's risky, but there's big reward. There's big reward.